So I got to tell you, I really wanted to squeeze a good workout out today, but 3 days of training. I did about 3.5 miles this morning of walking, and I think that's it. Caution tomorrow, and on the 8th day of carnivore keto. There's a cautionary tale going on, a creed, an unwritten creed, if you will. It's taking place. And it is an alliance that we both remember and try to forget. And it's based around each of us being our best, absolute best selves. If you were to be your best self, truly, without an idea based around hubris of who you are, it's very much based loosely on who you should be or who you think you should be at the height of who you are in your most refined and defined genetic potential. You purposefully sabotage yourself and don't achieve that because of an alliance that, do you want to make, it's a little thing that happens in everybody's head, and we say it to ourselves over and over again like a mantra. It's more of a creed. That is, do you really want to make your children feel bad about themselves? You know, young Billy is so overweight, and you want him to maintain himself also, because if he aspires to being great 9.5, maybe higher times out of 10, it's negative feedback. You're not going to be met with positivity when you really are going to, and that's just in one area of your life. Because there's something that all of us know, and that is that once you perfect yourself in one area, there's an understanding, a systemization, if you will, where you understand how to apply that toward anything and everything. And first and foremost, the thing that you have to observe is autonomy. It's going into yourself, becoming your best self, and you no longer have time for trivial bullshit, right? And that means relationships go out the window. That means doing things like just taking a bite out of something just for the simple sake of pleasure. And we act like that's no big deal, like that doesn't influence or interfere that much, but it does when you get into the areas of principle and exercising principle. So long story short, none of us are doing it. Some of us are doing this to our higher capacity, but those who have reached entitlement, the Elon Musks, the Jeff Bezos, the Mark Zuckerbergs, they reached an entitlement at a young age where they were entitled by someone, a parent, who was actually negatively using their entitlement against the fellow parent or siblings. They were using it in a weaponized fashion. So they were very well knew, they were very aware that this entitlement was going too far, right? And that they were creating a beast or a monster. And it is a monster. And it did create monsters. However, that's how all of us should be met. We should all be met with complete and total optimism, the focus from prior to birth, complete and total development, an access and a joy in raising us, knowing that that shows the ability of the entire community, right? And the more refined and defined we become, from our genetics all the way up to the surface level, right? In every art that you can imagine, from science to, exercise sciences, nutrition, horticulture. So you get into the areas of the true druidic magic, or the magi, and that was to learn and to develop fully, right? But something that happened during the short reign, you could say reign, of the Knights Templar, is they became extremely corrupt. They became corrupted in their knowledge and the application of the knowledge, because once you have to use a defensive posture, once you have to show the show, all of the inferior entities come out of the woodwork to challenge you, right? And it's there with the Essenes. It's there with the story of Jesus, if you will, Yeshua. And you can call the Son of God by many names, but when you really break it down and you think, I'm not going to be able to develop myself, I'm never going to become entitled, I'm just getting older, and the opportunity to refine myself to such a level slips away with each day. And then we go back to things that are going to either deviate our attention, or we just try to forget about it altogether. And some people who really can't let this go succumb to what the Stoics, preached, was basically suicide. If you really want to kill yourself, you're really that unhappy, and and how could you ever be happy or fulfilled when you know that you are not developing to the height of your potential? So again, there's a hidden religion, and all religions are bent to get us to think and do in an alliance against the self, right? An attack against the self, the refined self. So the idea of the one self and the monad is about this perfect archetype that exists, and you are that archetype, undefined, unrefined, unsculpted. And you should be angry about it. You should start today trying in the areas that you can, but what happens is we get to about 5%, 10%, maybe 15%, I doubt it, because we are capable of so much, and because so much is being locked. But even more so, this alliance has been going on for so long that there is not only cymatic interference, but there's technology built around blocking us from ever going into the venue, into the harmonics that we require to go into, just through mind meditations, just through the advancement of telepathic connection to that concept, to that theme of self-perfection. Once we even dare to try, we are stopped. We're stopped at the gate.